The meeting will begin in 3, 2, 1.
I now call the meeting of the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to the Hillsborough County Code Enforcement Special Magistrate hearing. When addressing the Special Magistrate, please state your name, address, and speak clearly into the microphone. If you're planning to speak during this hearing, you must sign the speakers list located at the front door for the record. Presentations by the county, respondents, and opposition must be kept to a maximum of 10 minutes each. Special Magistrate may recess at 12:30 and reconvene at 1:30 to conclude its business if needed. The basic process for this hearing is as follows. Your case will be announced, and Ms. Rodriguez will conduct the oath of witness. Staff will present their evidence on your case, and then you will be allowed to rebut that evidence and explain what has occurred. We'll close the hearing and announce a decision. All the decisions are based on the gravity of the violation, the actions taken by the violator, and the violator's history. I may ask questions and allow other witness testimony as necessary. If I issue an order for compliance, it is your responsibility to notify a code enforcement officer on or before the date ordered to demonstrate the violations have been corrected. Depending on my order, code enforcement staff may later have to conduct an inspection to see if you have complied. If the staff believes you have not complied, you will receive a notice by mail. By law, you have 10 days to contest that notice. Otherwise, it will be considered correct and a lien may be filed against your property. If you have any questions, these rules are outlined by Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Chapter 14, Article 2, Section 14. Any person who decides to appeal a decision of the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate will need a record of the proceedings. The record is comprised of the testimony and evidence upon which an appeal is based. It is your responsibility to ensure that a verbatim record of the proceedings is made. By law, you have 30 days from the date of my order to appeal the Special Magistrate's decision to Circuit Court. And before we begin, please silence all electronic devices. Ms. Rodriguez? The oath, please.
Will county staff stand and please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. You may be seated.
First case, please.
Getting there. Okay. Page 5, item 10, case number CE 210-10743. Rebecca Cochran DeJarn. We have service and no one is present.
Code Enforcement Officer Rick Garcia, Hillsborough County.
1 second, Mr. Garcia. Let's get the PowerPoint up here and then we'll go from there.
Good morning, Code Enforcement Officer Rick Garcia, Hillsborough County. Case number CE 210-10743. The property in question is at 15630 Bear Creek Drive, Tampa, Florida 33624, owned by Rebecca DeSharm. It is not a foreclosure. The property was first inspected on August 4th, 2021 by Officer Gonzalez and cited for garage door, windows and doors, decorative features, and operative vehicles, and fences. I first inspected the property on 12/28/21, and the violations cited remained. Since that time, has been done on the property, it's my understanding that the owner is suffering, I guess, medical issues or whatever. The property is being maintained by her son. On my final inspection of 4/26/22, the only violations that remain are the rotted garage door and rotted areas on the parts of the roof. There's a notice of commencement for roof repairs, but as of that last site visit, no repairs have been conducted. I haven't been back since April 26th.
Communication with the owner?
Off and on, yes. Nothing recent.
No life safety issue. Okay. A ruling case CE 21010743, the base name is presented. I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County codes or ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the actions taken by the violator, and the violator's history, I grant 60 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $200 per day be assessed.
Next case is on page 6, item 11, case number CE 21011675, Richard Earl Wilton Sr. We have service and someone is present. Please come forward. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Each of you, please state your name and address for the record.
Hold on one second. We'll put the microphone on for you. There you go.
Janie Wilson. And you need my address, you said?
Yes.
3202 Collindale Drive.
What is your relationship to this case?
It was my parents' house, but I was raised there, I lived there, and they both
Okay.
passed away and left the house to me.
Okay, sir, your name and address?
Joseph Thompson, 3202 Collindale Drive.
And your relationship to this case?
Fiance.
Yes. Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Go ahead, officer.
Code Officer Rick Garcia, Hillsborough County. Case number CE 21011675, located at 3202 Collindale Drive, Tampa, Florida 33624. It's owned by the estate of Richard Earl Wilton Sr. It's not in foreclosure. Property was first inspected on 8/17/2021. At that time, identified the inoperable vehicle, and there's a tarp on the roof indicating roof damage. My final inspection was on 5/5/2022. The violations remain. I have been in contact with the occupants of the residence. They advise they've been trying to work through getting the roof repaired. I don't know what the status of the inoperable vehicle is as of this date.
Okay, great. What would you folks like to tell me?
Just recently,
I'm going to ask you to step in front of the microphone for my ladies downtown so they can hear you.
okay, I recently received the title for the vehicle, so I'm going to get it registered now
Okay.
and have that taken care of. As far as the house goes, when her father passed away, there was an insurance claim put in on the house, and the insurance check was issued to her father and the construction company and the mortgage company. So we had to turn that back in and present the certificate of death. And just approximately 3 weeks ago, they reissued the insurance check to the construction company and the mortgage company. So we'll be able to get the roof put on the house and some other improvements that are needed.
Excellent. Okay, how much time do you think that'll take to get those improvements completed?
It's probably 60 days,
Okay.
but the car will be taken care of within a week.
Okay.
Sir, what was your last name again?
Thompson?
Thompson. If you don't mind, before you leave, come over to this table so you could sign in.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, officer, I know we haven't been inside, but life safety concerns. Okay. All right. I'm okay with the 60 days. So I'll give you a two-part motion, one for get the vehicle taken care of in the short term, and then 60 days to get the roof completed. And then
Thank
you'll
you,
need
sir.
to follow up with the officer to get that
Thank you very much.
checked out, okay?
Thank you all.
Thank you very
Have a
much.
blessed day. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia.
Everyone case CE 21011675, the base name is presented. I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County codes and ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the action taken by the violator and the violator's history, I grant a two-part motion of item PM 12.5 inoperable vehicles, 14 days, $150 per day, and item R 11.7.4 roofs and or parts thereof, 60 days, $150 per day. Mhm. Yes. Next case, please.
Page 1, Item 1, Case Number CE 200-15698, Monsey Construction Incorporated. We have service. This is a continuance from a previous hearing. Do you have the case summary?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Susan Perez, 2811 Besito Court, Tampa, 33610.
And what is your relationship to this case?
The owner, and he's the owner as well.
He needs to state his name and address.
My name is Ramon Silverio, 1510 West Comanche Avenue en Tampa.
Sir, did you sign in?
I don't think he did.
Okay, he needs to sign in before he leaves, okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good morning, Charles Marshall, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This case started October 15th of 2020. The zoning is RSC 6, it's owner occupied. It's not in foreclosure and there's no life safety issues. The violations cited are exterior walls and roofs. It was initially handled by another officer. I don't have photos of those two violations, but he addressed a roof and the walls of a yellow shed in the back of the property. The other violations are accumulations and outside open storage. As you can see in the photos, there's debris stacked and construction debris and materials stacked around the property in various places. The in-op vehicle is the utility trailer you can see there. It doesn't have a plate on it. The recreational vehicle, it was hooked up to utilities. I was there on, as you can see, on the 9th. So all the violations remain since our last hearing. I've been told some things have changed, but the recreation vehicle was hooked up to utilities. It's also setback requirement. It's a large utility vehicle. It's within 2 feet of the fence, as well as that accessory structure. So we have accessory structure setbacks is another violation. And then we have the fence zoning violation. The fence is greater than 6 feet in the required front yard. And RSC 6 zoning requires a 25-foot front yard. So the fence can only be 4 feet in height. As you can see there, it's right on the property line.
And the reason for the continuance?
They were going to get rezoning
Okay.
or apply for it at least.
And how long has it been since we continued? March?
I believe it was 60 days.
Okay. March. All right, ma'am, what would you like to tell me?
So, the RV is gone. And, the trailer, the black trailer that's there will be gone within the next day or two. And most of the debris is gone. So we have a little more space to move around in back there. So we'll be removing the rest of the stuff. I would, 2 semanas. Okay.
Pero el zone sí no sé cuándo esté ready.
Okay, so we're in the process of making sure we get all the stuff out of there. As far as zoning is concerned, they're not doing the pre-submittal process any longer. So right now I'm talking to my architect, which is Alvaro Rodriguez Architecture Firm on Flora Street. And he's getting a survey done for me so that I could start that process of having it rezoned. Because there's commercial properties all the way around me.
Even though the commercial properties still have to be kept up and not have
Absolutely.
outside open
Agreed.
storage and those
Yeah.
items as well, right?
So we're working on that. We actually rented a place in Dover where we're going to be putting some storage units out on, and then all that stuff is going to be moved.
Okay. And the inoperable vehicle, the
That's gone.
tag
That's
for the
gone.
trailer, for the concrete trailer?
That's going to be leaving.
Okay. And there seems to be some issues about the exterior walls and roofs. Is that something
That
that's
was
been
taken
taken
care
care
of.
of? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's in compliance. So your testimony here today is that within a short period of time, all these violations are going to be achieved and you are going to go through your architect for setback. Correct? Is that the issue that you're trying to achieve by rezoning?
No, I want to change the property from residential to residential commercial
Ah, okay.
so that I can have an office there and see my clients there.
I see.
And I
And
need to have a survey and I need to have a bunch of paperwork that I don't know how to put together. And somebody else is going to have to do that for me. I try to draw it all up, but
gotcha. But my understanding from your testimony is that that process isn't going to impact these items. They're either complete or nearing
Correct.
completion.
Correct.
Including the fence zoning violation. Are you reducing the height of the front fence?
I can, but it's already up.
Well, I understand it's already up. That doesn't mean that it's okay.
I can
So-
take the grates down.
Well, the concern is that you have to be at a 4-foot height for the front fence elevation. So if removing you still, in my opinion, and I can't estimate the height here, but I'm saying those columns probably are higher than 4 feet. So even with the removal of the grates, you're still,
Right. I see what you're saying. So I'm hoping that with the changing of the zoning from residential to residential commercial, that should take care of that problem.
Carmine, do you want to respond to that? I'm not quite sure that that's true, but just for clarification while we're all here.
I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah.
You're going to have to ask for, we're looking
It'll be a
at,
variance.
right.
Correct.
Variance, you're talking about the side fence also, that's 6 feet and it can't be beyond the property, the residence out. And then you're talking about the 2 structures that they have that are in violation also that
Mhm.
have to be addressed.
Mhm.
So, and what they're asking is nothing that happens overnight.
Absolutely. Understand.
So we do have a retention pond on one side of the property where there's already a 6-foot fence.
The issue is the front elevation.
The front. Okay.
The front
got you.
being from the point of the furthest point on each side of where the residence encroaches on the front yard, those side fences need to be on 4 feet height also. And then across the front.
On the side, they have to be 4 feet as well?
Si lo comprendemos comercial.
He can,
He's asking that once we change the zoning from residential to commercial,
You s-
residential commercial, couldn't we apply for an exception?
well, that's what I was saying. You need a variance
Right.
for several things on the property, not
Mhm.
just to change the zoning.
Right, but right now, just the fence,
Well, you got the fence, you have
because that's a
the
concern.
2 structures in the
And
back
and the setbacks.
and
Right.
the setbacks.
So vamos, no sé, vamos a ver si podemos, no sé. Okay, so I'll have to speak to somebody in zoning to see what I can do about that.
Absolutely. So what I'll do is I'll do a 2-part motion for you. I'll give all these items that you believe are complied. I'll give you a 14-day time period to get with the officer to come out and get those reviewed. For the setbacks and the fence zoning violation, I'll give you 90 days to get through that process. And if it doesn't work by then, you'll have to either comply or you'll be fined. So that'll give you some time to go through that with your team and your architect.
Yeah,
But you'll be on the clock, so just be aware of that. And then once you have compliance or you have done something with your variance, and then you give the officer and let him know that that's been taken care of. Okay,
Okay, thank you so much.
absolutely. You're welcome. Have a great weekend. Ruling case CE 2001569, the basis of the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County codes or ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the ground of the violation, the action taken by the violator in the violator's history, a two-part motion, I grant 14 days to come into compliance on items NR 10.7.2 exterior walls, item NR 10.7.4 roofs, item PM 12.1 accumulations, item PM 12.2 overgrowth, item PM 12.5 inoperable vehicles, item Z203 outside open storage, and item Z609 recreational vehicles. Failure to meet that timeline of 14 days will result in a daily fine of $225 per day. Second part of the motion, I grant 90 days to come into compliance on items Z608 vehicle utility trailer setback, item Z615 accessory structure setback, and item Z633 fence zoning violation. Failure to come into compliance with those results in a daily fine of $225 per day. Same penalty for both. Next case, please.
Next case is on page 1, item 2, case number CE 200-17400, Patricia Pamusi and Joseph A. Cross. We have service, and there is someone here virtually. Is Patricia there?
Patricia is the one that did not sign in.
So she's not in?
No.
Okay. Do you want to still hear the case?
No, let's go with the folks that are here in the building, and we'll deal with that one at the end. Sorry, Mr. Bowling. We'll get back to you. No sense
Okay.
them waiting for somebody that didn't show up. Next case, please.
Page 2, item 3, case number CE 220000568, Remy Memorial LLC. We have service, and someone is here virtually, Dawn Zambito and Lydia Moore. Can I see them, please?
Yes, here.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please, each of you state your name and address for the record.
Dawn Zambito, 3339 Golden Eagle Drive, Land O'Lakes, Florida.
What is your relationship to this case?
I am the general manager for the company.
Thank you. Lydia? We can't hear you.
There we go. Lydia Muir, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, sorry. 15135 Night Hawk Drive, Tampa, 33625, and I serve as the property manager for Bremy.
Thank you. And do we
Thank
have a
you.
photo? Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good morning, officer.
Morning. I'm Patrick Daly with Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. The property in question is located at 6740 Memorial Highway, owned by Bremini Memorial LLC, case number CE 220000568. The property is not in foreclosure, and presently the violations are not a life safety issue. The property was inspected on 01/14/2022. Prior to this inspection, it was also cited on 12/01/2021 for accumulation and for nuisance conditions. Those violations were complied with in 2 weeks, which was on 12/21/2021. The second case, which we are looking at right now, was complied 04/15/2022. Currently, there is no violation. I visited the location yesterday, and it is very much similar to what is in the current photo that is on the slide. Throughout this whole process, I have been in contact with Linda and Dawn, and also the two waste management, and also another contractor that drop off their dumpsters. Everyone has been very cooperative, and we're here just because of Rick. I was directed to request from the board.
Understand. Okay, ladies, who would like to speak first?
I will go ahead. We coordinated and put a couple thoughts together. Basically, none of the violations were intentional, of course. We have an ongoing challenge with illegal dumping. It's been pretty severe over the last few years. We have had trouble also with getting reliant vendors and suppliers. We had a problem with the dumping. We resolved that. In February, as you're aware, the county had changed their stipulations as far as who we could and couldn't use for our dumpster removals. And we had some problem with that, got that all resolved. We were having some problems with the gates. It took some time to get the parts, the companies in there to get it, with the supply issue. We are in compliance. We've not had any, problem realizing that, it is a problem, and we are staying on top of it the best we can. It's just that every now and then something happens. For example, the last week in April, we actually had a 8-yard dumpster full of trash dumped on our property, and it did not belong to us, it did not belong to our provider. So it's just an ongoing issue that we're dealing with, but we're trying our best to stay in compliance at all times.
Well, I understand. I'm sure that's frustrating, and I appreciate your communication and your ability to get this taken care of in a timely fashion. So I'll just do a remain in compliance, and I know the two ladies are going to stay on top of it. So I appreciate you both coming out and telling me the story, and I hope it stays clean.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. I rule in case CE 220000568. That based on the evidence presented, I find the property was in violation of Hillsborough County codes or ordinances as presented. Further, I find the property is now in compliance with this code provision and order that it remain in compliance with this code provision.
Next case is item 4, case number CE 21004388, Gloria J. Edwards. We have service and someone is present. Is Mr. Edwards out there? There you go. Sir, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
State your name and address for the record.
My name is Aaron E. Edwards. Address is 1008 Shangri-La Drive, Cessna, Florida 33584.
And what is your relationship to this case?
I am the owner. Well, my grandma's the owner, but I help manage it, as you could say.
Do you recognize that photo as the
I do.
Thank you.
Morning, officer.
How you doing? Good morning. Chris Masson, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. Case number CE 21004388. Property is located at 6209 Virginia Lane, Onondaga, Florida. Zoned AS1. It's not in foreclosure. Has 7 violations. Violations are accumulations, overgrowth, exterior walls, roof and parts thereof, windows and exterior doors, inoperative vehicles, and general standards for a dwelling.
I'm only seeing 4 violations here. I'm missing the walls, the roof, and the windows. Is that active, or has that been complied, or?
Nothing's been complied.
Okay.
The windows have probably been knocked out and the walls are falling down. There's the walls violation there.
Before you go to the property owner, I can add to the issues here.
Mr. Rosano, please.
This is a condemnation case also. I've been dealing with this under condemnation case C21-0028, which is initiated on November 24th, 2021. I have given the property owner and representative here plenty of time to resolve the problem. I have received many promises, but no action. The property has gotten worse since I initiated my condemnation case, and it's just by chance that that case is up for reinspection. And 30 days ago, I gave them a final notice that that we were going to, they were to resolve the problem, or we were going, the county was going to step in, which I'm proceeding to do. So, I mean, you can make a ruling, but that building would be down within 2 months.
I understand. Okay. Excellent. Okay, sir, what would you like to add?
Can I just say there's no reason for the county to step in? I actually have somebody, I have a machine coming out tomorrow, or today actually, to tear down the house.
Oh.
There's no reason for the county to step in. I have actually been working actively with my grandmother to get someone to demolish the house. The vehicle will be moved. I think you need to give us at least 90 days to get everything cleared out, to get overgrowth and all the stuff that's on the property. Much of it, my grandfather passed away in January of last year. So, and we stopped living there probably in December or November of the year before in 2020. So me and my grandma are actively working on getting it torn down, and we're going to get the money and we're going to sell the property. So probably within 90 days, we should have everything torn down. The overgrowth should be gone, and the shed and everything, and all the dwellings that are code listed here that I have broken will be in compliance.
Okay. I can't do anything with the condemnation case. That's not in front of me today. The issues that I can address are the accumulation, overgrowth in vehicles, and the general standards for dwellings. However, based on the previous testimony from the other officers and their supervisor, I can't in good faith give you 90 days to get that complete. I understand that you've got somebody coming out the next couple of days to demolish the house. So I'm going to give you 30 days to complete that. And so you have to go through that process and get all those items completed in 30 days. Okay.
Okay.
Just want to make sure you understand.
I get
And
it.
obviously you understand the scope of work. So you've been involved
I've been
the whole time.
I've been with y'all the entire time.
Understand.
With
Okay,
y'all.
sir. Well, I appreciate you coming down and explaining that to me.
No worries.
Thank you very much. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Ruling case CE 21004388, the basis of the answer presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the action taken by the violator and the violator's history, I grant 30 days to come to compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $300 per day be assessed. Next case, please.
Next case is on page 3, item 5, case number CE 21004857, Ina L. Brewer and Erwin Brewer. We have service and someone is present. Please raise your right
Ms.
hand.
Brewer.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Ina Brewer, 7026 Nundy Avenue, Gibson, Florida.
Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Good morning, Magistrate. Officer.
Microphone, sir. Microphone. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Officer Dan Green, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This is case CE 21004857. Location is 10921 Country Haven Drive, Gibsonton, Florida 33534. The property is not currently occupied. There's no life safety issues present. The zoning is RC 6 and the property is not in foreclosure. The first visit was conducted on April 12th, 2021. And my last visit was 4/26 of 2022. The primary issue with the property is that there was a fire. And as you can see in the picture there, that the damage has not been repaired. The property is secured, but upon my last inspection, when these photos were taken, the accumulations and the overgrowth has returned. We're just looking for a ruling on that particular part, but the repairs have not been completed at all.
Good morning again, Ms. Brewer. It's good to see you. Not under these circumstances, but good to see you again.
Okay, thank you. We have all of the outside cleaned.
Okay.
The trees have been removed. We've mowed the grass, removed all of the debris. The inside, we're still working on. And by the way, there was no fire at all. It was whatever they were doing caused smoke. But we found no fire damage. But everything was smoked.
Whatever they were doing. Mm-hmm. Okay.
There was no sign of a fire.
Oh,
but they hadn't
I'm
been
sure.
far.
Okay.
Okay.
Strange.
But we are working on the inside and we're getting along real well with it. So a little bit of time,
Timeline to get that completed, Ms. Brewer?
30 days.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And you're in compliance on the overgrowth and accumulations?
Yes.
Okay. Fantastic. I'll make that ruling.
Okay.
Thank you for coming down. Appreciate it. Ruling KCE 21004857. That based on the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County codes or ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the ground of the violation, the action taken by the violator and the violator's history, we're in a two-part motion. 7 days to come into compliance on items PM 12.2 overgrowth and item PM 12.1 accumulation. Failure to meet that timeline will result in a penalty of $300 per calendar day. In regards to item R 11.1, general standards for dwellings, 30 days for completion. Failure to meet that timeline results in a penalty of $300 per day. And I'll add a stipulation to the ruling that the property remain unoccupied until renovation is complete. Next case, please.
Next case is on page 7, item 14, case number CE 20005148, Jose Antonio Martinez. And we have service and someone is present. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I'm translating for him. That's Jose Martinez. I'm his cousin, Juan Silva. Came to translate on this.
Juan Silva?
Yes, ma'am. Unless you guys have a translator.
Okay,
More than happy.
that's fine, but state your name and address for the record.
Juan Silva. I'm at 7439 Oak Vista Circle, Tampa, Florida, 33634.
And he needs to,
Jose Martinez, he's at 6421 Golden Drive, Tampa, Florida, 33634.
and do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes.
Thank you.
Jose Reyes, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. I inspected the property at 7610 Ann Ballard Road, Tampa, Florida, 33634 on April 13, 2020. At which time it was not in foreclosure. It was cited for improper use of zone and commercial vehicles. The improper use of zone is actually a violation for board order dated 5/18/18, case CE 17014875. The property zone AS1, it's allowed one commercial vehicle, and there are several commercial vehicles still on the property.
Is this a repeat violation? Are these the same violations from a case in 2018?
The improper use of zone is a repeat for case CE 17014875.
So are we asking for a repeat violation ruling on that particular violation?
Right, what?
We're just asking for,
What's the date of the order?
2018?
it, the date of the order was 5/18/18. That's when it went to the code board.
Okay, and you cited it as a repeat because we don't have it, that,
It was originally going to be a remain in compliance because he had removed it. What happened was after he removed it, they would come back. So
I just want to know if it was cited as a repeat.
no, I believe it wasn't cited. We just want a ruling on the
Okay,
current violations.
okay, thank you.
Okay. After all that, gentlemen, what would you like to tell me?
Dice que quieren decir de que porque está puede que mover los equipos para tanto para atrás todavía hasta que encontrara la renta de otra propiedad. No porque tuve que irme donde estaba, pero ya estoy moviendo todo el equipo para que encuentre otra propiedad donde puedo tener
He's removed the vehicles. He found a rental place.
Can you tip that microphone up for me so you don't have to
Thank
slouch over like
Thank
that?
you very
Yes,
much.
absolutely.
Yeah, he has found a rental place, would say about a mile away, and it's commercial. So he's removed all the vehicles. That one happens to be there because he's trying to get a part to get it fixed up. So that's why he's there right now.
Okay. Do you expect to move that shortly?
La pieza de cambio cuando te viene para sacarlo de ahí.
Sí, no, tarde mañana debería.
He said today or tomorrow. He's expecting the parts all right.
Okay. Terrific. So your testimony is after that point, you'll be in compliance.
Dice que después de eso se va a sacar el camión. Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, I'll give you 7 days to get that completed, and then that gives him time to come out and confirm that it's been done, and then we'll be taken care of.
Okay. And he only has one question. He says he can only have one commercial vehicle then?
Correct. That's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming down.
All right.
Have a
Thank
great
you, sir.
weekend. Everyone, case CE 2000548, the base name is presented. I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County Codes or ordinances as listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the actions taken by the violator and the violator's history, I grant 7 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $150 per day to be assessed. Next case, please.
Next case is on page 8, item 16, case number CE 210-10899, West Park Village Owner LLC. We have service and someone is present. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Ann Kelly. My address is 100 North Tampa Street, Tampa, Florida, 33602. I'm here on behalf of my client, West Park Village, who's the owner of the property located at 9902 Prompton Drive.
Great, thank you. Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes.
Thank you.
Jose Reyes, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. I inspected the property at 9902 Brompton Drive on August 5th, 2021, at which time it was not in foreclosure. It was cited for accumulations. I left it, it was complied. I'm requesting an order for remaining compliance as we received 4 complaints for accumulations in 2021. And 3 more in 2022. One of the issues was they have a curbside pickup vendor, and what he was doing was they were picking up the garbage, going to the front. If they saw the dumpster was filled, they would bring it back. Since then, they've hired a new curbside pickup, so they are addressing the issue, but we're asking that you issue an order to remain in compliance.
Communication with the owner?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, Counselor, what would you like to add?
I just would like to add for the record that my client also has a long-term plan to change the garbage collection to be one of a compactor system to really help alleviate these potential accumulation problems. Of that process, of course, will take some time. They need to lay some asphalt and get the requisite permits and plans, but that's their next step on this issue.
Excellent. Okay. Well, thank you for coming down. I appreciate you adding that detail. Looks like we're going to be taking care of this relatively shortly. You won't come back to see me. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great day. My ruling case CE 210108999. The base name is presented. I find the property was in violation of Hillsborough County Codes or ordinances as presented. Further, I find that the property is now in compliance with this code provision. Order that it remain in compliance with this code provision.
Next case is on page 9, item 17, case number CE 210042224, Philip Nicholson and Carol Nicholson. We have service and someone is present. We have Philip Nicholson. He's coming. His podium, I guess. Sir, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Phil Nicholson, 403 13th Street, Southwest, Ruskin, Florida.
Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes.
Thank you.
Morning, officer.
Morning. Officer Watson with Hillsborough County Code Enforcement here for case number CE 21004224 at 406 13th Street Southwest, Reston, Florida 33570. I have been in contact with the owner. The initial inspection was 3/30 of 2021, and the number of 4 violations, roofs, parts thereof, outside open storage, accumulations, and overgrowth. There are currently 2 violations still remaining as of the last inspection, which is the roofs, parts thereof, and accumulations. The location had a prior case that was pulled from a hearing in 7/24 of 2018 due to new ownership when Mr. Phillips acquired the property. I met with the new owner on the property who has since replaced the roof. There are still violations that are currently being worked on through the renovation process. The property is being maintained of overgrowth. In the exception with the case being pulled in 2018, there has been no prior violations.
Excellent. Okay. Sir, what would you like to add?
The house is under construction. It's just, going to take time to finish the construction.
No life safety violations?
No, sir.
Okay. How much time do you need, sir, to get that complete, do you think?
The windows and doors are going to take anywhere from 4 to 6 months, they told me to get in.
Oh, my goodness.
So by the time I get the doors in and the windows, restucco the house, it's probably going to take a whole year by the time I get it from start to finish.
Yeah, I don't think in this violation there's any windows and doors, so that's the good news.
Just the roof trim and the accumulations, just those 2 violations.
Trim?
Yeah, in the violation, in the accumulations.
So we're talking about roof trim and the accumulations on the
Yep,
property
just
itself.
those 2
Oh,
items.
okay. Yeah, I can get those cleaned up in the next, few weeks.
Okay. 30 days work for you?
Fine.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you for coming down, sir. I appreciate it. Taking the time. I rule in case CE 21004224, the base evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on ground of the violation, the action taken by a violator and the violator's history, I grant 30 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $200 per day be assessed.
Next case is item 18, case number CE 21005563, Anthony Munzer. We have service and someone is present. Sir, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Anthony Monser, 103 2nd Street Northeast.
Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Officer?
Code Officer Watson with Hillsborough County Code Enforcement here for case number CE 21005563, address 103 2nd Street, Ruskin, Florida 33570. I have been in contact with the owner, and he stated he's going to be in compliance by the hearing, or at least close to. The initial inspection was 4/26/2021 with 3 violations: structures used as a dwelling, accessory use without a permit, non-conforming house type. All 3 violations were still there on the date of inspection. Case originated as an HCSO complaint for the parcels with no address. Connex containers were set up as dwellings and were explained as to be tiny houses. No permits were found on records. It appears that Connex containers are all enclosed trailers are modified and currently being used as a dwelling. Vehicles, trailers, and other items are being stored on the property, and no permits on record for a primary structure. So all violations still remained as of the last inspection. And this is the only violations it's had in the last 5 years.
Excellent. Sir, what would you like to add?
For what it's worth,
it's all important to me.
I admit to the violations. It was right at the end of 2019, I had entered into a contract to purchase a home in Auburndale, and the owner passed away and his family came after me wanting more money, and it all fell through. And to this day, I'm still trying to collect what I put down on it. But I had nowhere else to go. I had gone through a horrific explosion that took half my right hand and thankfully Tampa General was able to attach my left thumb. At any rate, if it wasn't for this property, I wouldn't have had anywhere to go. And the storage container was not meant ever to be a place for me to reside in, but it became my safe haven through this whole entire mess we've had for the past couple of years. Nevertheless, all of my vehicles and trailers are all registered and tagged. I've already removed those. I have found a place where I can take all my equipments, my trucks and trailers, and I'm already in the process of that as far as the Connex goes. I've already started preparing to move it. I even went and bought a trailer to move it myself if I have to. I'm in negotiations right now to try to move on to another piece of property if I do work for the owner you still got to get electricity and water to the place. For what it's worth, my property, I have public water and I also have sanitation. So I'm not out there. Another thing too, this property and those around it have a reputation of being blighted and depressed, especially there in Ruskin. I took it upon myself when I bought that property, it had a burnt down 2.5-story dwelling. I've removed that. There was a garage. I've removed that. I've been doing a lot of clearing, and the surrounding properties, I've worked with other property owners, and now for those 2 blocks from 2nd to 4th are now garbage free and homeless free. And I'm actually involved in a case right now of stolen cars that I caught people over there dumping it. And now the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department is taking care of that. So I'm hoping that I could get like 60 days and I can get all this taken care of.
Okay. All right. Officer, any concerns with that timeline?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, sir, I appreciate you making an effort in your community, and I'm totally okay with that. I'll give you 60 days to get that completed. Obviously, you understand the violations, and you're in the process of taking care of it. And as long as you stay in communication with the owner or with the officer, we'll be in good shape.
Okay,
All right?
thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
Okay.
I rule in case CE 21005563 that based on the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the action taken by the violator and the violator's history, I grant 60 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $200 per day be assessed.
Page 10, item 19, case number CE 21005602, Len Hawks Point LLC. We have service and someone is present.
Sonia, can you repeat the case number? I think you got it wrong.
CE 21005606.
Yeah, that's correct. You said Guana's Mobile Home Park or Guana?
Len Hawks and Re-Energy Transport. That's you. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Name and address, please.
Reno Delsey, 2120 Ridge Road, Pike Drive, Ruskin, Florida, 33570.
And your relationship to this case?
I'm the owner of the vehicle.
You're the owner of Re-Energy?
Yes, correct.
Okay, do you recognize that photo as the property?
Oh, I recognize the property, but not the pickup trucks right now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, go to.
Officer, you want to clarify that? Because I think.
Yes, sir. So this property here is owned by the Hawks Island. However, he was the violator of the commercial. He was the owner of the commercial vehicle that caused the violation on the property.
Okay, so you're the owner of Re-Energy Transport LLC, and
That
you
is
were
correct.
having vehicles on this parcel.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. All right,
Okay.
I'm clear.
All right. So I'm Code Officer Watson with Hillsborough County Code Enforcement and here for case CE 21005606 at 1801 Hawks Island Drive, Ruskin, Florida 33547. I've been in contact with the owner for the last week or so. Beforehand, there was no communication between them. Initial inspection was 4/27/2021 with the violations of accumulations, overgrowth in the commercial vehicle. Currently, only one violation remains, which is the accumulations. These violations are located on the west intersection of 18th Street Northeast. There's been several complaints over the last couple of years. A lot of them are recorded as one right away instead of with the folio number, with some confusion of where the property line actually lied. So these violations, one example is CE 21015513 that was November 15th of 2021 of improper use of in occupancy of the public right of way. While on the location on 5/5/2022, I observed the violations of overgrowth and accumulations. I received an email on 5/7 from the citizens from the adjoining neighborhood saying that the commercial vehicles had been removed from there and signs were placed. So I went and conducted an inspection after that. I received that information, and the commercial vehicles had been removed, and the owners put in no parking signs on the side. However, there is still an SRN with Hillsborough County Public Works that they've done an engineer study, and they're also going to put in no parking signs on the right of way. So it kind of covers both bases. They're working with us. The county is working on it as well to keep the commercial vehicles out of the location. And the owners of the property have contacted me this week and said the accumulations have been removed. And that's where we are.
Okay. All right, sir. So in regards to your half, if I understand this correctly, you're the owner of the vehicles, and the vehicles have been removed.
Yeah, that is correct. I received a letters shortly. I have a 15 days notice to remove my truck, and I did remove it. Then on the 30th of March, I received another letter for the appearance. So yeah, I did move my truck.
Okay. Sounds like you're in good shape then.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem. In regards to the accumulations and overgrowth, they said they're working on it. What's the scope here? I mean, is it 2 weeks, 30 days? What is the
If it's
briefing
fine, I
timeline?
mean, 1 week should be fine, or we can give them 2 weeks. However, we kind of want a remaining compliant or an order on it to keep it maintained, to keep the accumulations and overgrowth.
That's included in my ruling, right? Okay, excellent. All right. And then I'll give them 14 days, and then you can go out and do a reinspection, and we'll go from there. Thank you, sir, for coming down.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Have a good day.
Absolutely, you too.
Thank
I rule in case CE 21005606 that based on the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County Codes and Ordinances as listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the action taken by the violator and the violator's history, I grant 14 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $300 per day be assessed.
Thank you.
Thank you, officer.
Page 12, item 23, case number CE 21008615, Glen Oaks MHP LLC. We have service and someone is present. So raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Name and address, please.
James Johnson and P.O. Box 531, Newport Richey, Florida 34656.
And your relationship to this case?
The owner and kind of day to day overseeing the property. We don't own that home, no. It's a mobile home park, and the tenant owns that home.
Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes, that's his home.
Thank you.
Good morning. I am Officer Sarah Franco with the Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. The property in question is located at 12428 North Florida Avenue, Lot 28, Tampa, Florida 33612, and owned by Glen Oaks Mobile Home Park LLC. The property is occupied by Carl Schindler, who owns the trailer but rents the lot space in the mobile home park. The property is not in foreclosure, and it was first inspected on June 21st of 2021. This is the first case investigated by code enforcement for lot 28. There have been 8 site visits conducted on this property, and the violation of accumulations still exists. There has been no progress with the cleanup from when I first inspected the lot myself on December 17th. During my inspections, I did not come in contact with the lot owner. He has no trespass signs in place, and he barricaded the front of his opening, I guess you would call it. So I couldn't make contact, and he doesn't come out very often. I spoke to the property manager, Carolyn Logan, regarding this tenant, and she has stated that Jimmy Johnson, the property owner next to me, is in the process of evicting Carl, but due to him owning the actual trailer and renting the lot space, it's been harder than usual to get him off the property. I conducted my final inspection on May 6th, and these photographs were taken then for this hearing.
Okay, sir, what would you like to add?
Yep, all that's correct. And I'd like to add, he's been, very difficult to work with. And we have, it's his garbage that's there. So we've, kind of begged him, please, Carl, clean it up, clean it up. He's lived there for decades and he really hasn't complied. So, we had spoke last week and I kind of gave him the final ultimatum. You have to clean it over the weekend. He didn't. So I went on the 10th, a couple days ago, met with Carl, gave him an eviction notice. That was the final and all be all notice. And then figuring he would fight it and delay it, I said, I'll buy the house from you. So I got him to agree, and I have a copy of that if you'd like to see it, where he signed it. On May 30th, I'm going to buy, the park, we're going to buy the house from Carl for $3,000 is what he had agreed to. And then whatever's left will become our property on the 30th. And then we'll have our maintenance crew. We'll drop off a dumpster right there and probably fill up, 2 or 3 dumpsters worth of Carl's stuff. The first thing we're going to do is obviously tear that door off and, rectify the situation on the 30th. If Carl doesn't comply with the deal on the 30th, then the eviction will go, will continue on.
Okay. I'd ask if there's life safety issues here, but I think I already have a pretty good idea. Total timeline then for you to complete. So you're looking at 30 days plus or minus to get the process completed with the tenant.
Mm-hmm.
So if I gave you 60 days, do you think that's plenty of time to be able to get that through that process one way or the other and get the materials removed?
Yeah, hopefully on the 30th. I'm pretty confident he will take the deal. I kind of said this is his best option and we'll put some money in his pocket so he can leave.
Mm-hmm.
So ideally, yeah, he's gone on May 30th. We'll have it cleaned up within a week or 2 after that. If he doesn't take the deal on the 30th, then the eviction will proceed. And then if he does fight it and says, oh, I'm applying for aid and, he could fabricate some information, it could take longer, but I'm pretty confident on the 30th he will take the deal. So
Okay, well, we'll go with 60 days and then just stay in touch with the officer. And if there's something comes up along the way, then we'll address that at a later date. Okay,
thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. I rule in case CE 21008615. The basis of the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County codes or ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the action taken by the violator and the violator's history, I grant 60 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $225 per day be assessed.
The next case is item 24, case number CE 210-10619, 2383 RE Holdings LLC. We have service and someone is present.
He tried.
Try to escape.
Raise your right hand. Good morning. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Michelle Covington, 1405 East 127th Avenue, Apartment B.
And your relationship to this case?
The tenant.
Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good morning again.
Good
My name's
morning.
Officer Sarah Franco with Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. The property in question is located at 1405 East 127th Avenue, Apartment B, Tampa, Florida 33612, and owned by 2383 RE Holdings LLC. Apartment B is still occupied by Ms. Covington. The property is not in foreclosure, and it was first inspected August 4th of 2021. This is the first case investigated by code enforcement for apartment B. There have been 7 site visits conducted on this property and 2 violations still remain. The first violation which remains present is windows and exterior doors. There is a cracked window in the living room. And the second violation is damaged kitchen cabinets. The cabinet doors under the kitchen sink do not close properly, and the bottom of the cabinet to the left of the stove still needs to be repaired. The first inspection I conducted myself was back in February, and this case was already in pre-CEB status. I had spoken to the property manager, Lisa Santos, and I have been advised that due to staff shortage, vendor problems, and materials on delay, it's been taking longer to get repairs done in the whole complex as a whole. They are short-staffed. It's only her and 1 maintenance guy present. And I conducted my final inspection and pictures May 10th.
The duration of this project has been 8 months. Was that communication about shortages early on in this process?
It's the entire complex.
The whole time?
Yes,
Okay.
it's really.
All right, Ms. Covington, what'd you like to tell me?
It's more than that. That's need to be done in the apartment. Like I sent him pictures and nothing has still been done in my apartment. Nothing.
What are the other items that are?
It was a leakage from the apartment upstairs above me that came down to the ceiling in my bathroom and stuff. It had a big old hole and stuff. It was leaking in there or stuff, and that was there for like 2-3 months or stuff. And I kept complaining about the water coming from upstairs, it's coming down here in my in the vents or whatever stuff. You can smell more when every time I walk in my door, stuff like it stinks in this apartment. Or stuff. My daughter had ended up going to the emergency room when I first moved in. She was pregnant at the time for 3 weeks. Even the paramedics came in and stuff, and they was like, it's the duct system and stuff needed cleaning. They came in the other day, my daughter said and stuff, and the only thing they did was sprayed over the vents. That's it.
Okay. Well, the items here that we're dealing with today are windows, exterior doors, and then sink-based cabinets, kitchen and or bath damage deteriorated. So I think some of that probably falls under that, and we'll be sure to stay in contact with the officer as we go through this process. That seems like a life safety issue.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. This has been going on way too long. I understand the shortages with materials, but somebody's going to have to find a way to take care of this pretty quickly.
They saying they only have 2 maintenance guys. They have 3 of them actually riding around on the property.
Well, sometime in the next 14 days, they're going to have one of them at your house.
Thank
Okay.
you so much.
All right, man. Thank you for coming down and letting me know.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I rule in case CE 21010619 that based on the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the actions taken by the violator, and the violator's history, I grant 14 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $500 per day be assessed. Next case, please.
Page 13, item 25, case number CE 21011659, 903 East 124th Avenue Land Trust. And we have service. And someone is appearing virtually?
Yes.
Jeremy Carter?
Yes.
Sir, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Jeremy Cloder on behalf of Worldwide
I
Trustees.
cannot hear him for the record, please.
Is that better?
A little bit, but not much.
How about now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Jeremy Cloder on behalf of Worldwide Trustee Services for the property at 903 East 124th Ave, Tampa.
Okay, is there a photo? Is there a photo? Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good morning for the 3rd time. I am Officer Sarah Franco with Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. The property in question is located at 903 East 124th Avenue, Tampa, Florida 33612, and owned by 903 East 124th Avenue Land Trust. The property is not occupied and under renovations. It is a duplex. The property is not in foreclosure, and it was first inspected May 27th of last year. This is the third case investigated by code enforcement for this duplex, and this case was actually initiated due to fire damage. There have been 9 site visits conducted on this property, and the following violations still remain present. General standards for dwellings and windows and exterior doors. The entire duplex was inhabitable since my first inspection back in January. There has been substantial progress with this property since then. The exterior has been cleaned up extensively, and the interior is almost complete for both apartment A and B. For my last inspection on May 6th, I did speak to a handyman who was working on site, and he specified that the windows are on order. They're waiting for them to come in, but it's taking longer because they're in unique size. The kitchen cabinets are in the process of being installed, and other minor repairs are in the process. I have been in contact with the property manager, Jeremy, who is managing the renovations for this property. I've met him once in person, and the last I spoke with him, that they are trying to complete this fast because they want to turn around and sell it. It's a hot market. Through research in Excel, though, it was brought to my attention that there are no active permits for this property. So the folio information was forwarded to code compliance for their review, and I conducted my final inspection May 6th and took photographs.
Okay, thanks. Jeremy, what would you like to add?
Yes, as a code enforcement officer mentioned, it's been really helpful. So yeah, last May we had a fire, went through the insurance claim. It took 4 or 5 months for us to finally get the payout. And so we've been making the repairs. The longest delay has been on the windows, which I told should arrive on June 3rd. And then our intention is, yes, like she mentioned, to sell it within the next 30 days. And we just in the last 2 weeks, which I think was after her most recent visit, we are having the electrician rewire on the inside and do some work on the panels and stuff. So there was, my understanding is some of the panels were just because the building's so old, they were difficult to get. So the windows and the electrical has been most of the delay. But we've probably spent about $40,000 on redoing the roof and a bunch of things already. So we're anxious to get this out of our hairs as well as yours.
Excellent. Okay, so the timeline, how much time do you think you need to complete the violations as we see them today?
Just 30 days should be fine.
Okay. Concerns, officer? Okay. All right. Sounds like you might have a permit issue too. You might want to check on that.
Will do.
Excellent. Okay. I will give you a ruling for 30 days, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
A ruling case CE 21011659 that based on the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances as listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the action taken by the violator and the violator history, I grant 30 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $300 per day be assessed. I also add a stipulation requiring the property to remain unoccupied until violations are complied.
Page 14, item 27, case number CE 21005518, Leroy A. Gale and Brenda Gale. We have service and someone is present. So raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
State your name and address for the record.
Leroy A. Gale, 4814 Smith Road and 4818 Smith Road.
Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good morning, Officer Sweeney.
Good morning, Dennis Sweeney, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. The property in question is located at 4814 Smith Riles Road. Property is zoned AS1. Property is tenant occupied. The property is not in foreclosure at this time. We received a complaint on April 23rd, 2021 of last year. Upon my site visit, I met with Mr. Gale concerning the complaint and the violations that were stated. The complaint came in about a fence being installed on the property. However, that 6-foot fence that was installed in the front yard meets the 50-foot front yard requirement, so that's not an issue. However, upon my site visit, I did observe accumulations, inoperable vehicles, and overgrowth. As of my last visit on April 26th, I'm sorry, on May, it'd be the next photo should tell us the date. So on the 9th, May 9th, I took updated photos, found that the accumulations, some of it's been removed, some of it still remains. The inoperable vehicles are still on the property. And the overgrowth, I wasn't able to get an updated photo of the overgrowth, so I had to use the photos from April 26th of last year. I have not been contacted by Mr. Gale that these things were corrected, and that's why we're here today.
Okay, Mr. Gale, what would you like to add?
You tried to contact Sagar, no?
Receive like, letters.
One second, we've got some interference here on that one. You'll lose your time.
Mr. Rivas, if you could mute your mic.
Will do.
Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, since I received a couple of letters from the county, so I start, doing cleanup and everything like that. And I haven't completed everything yet, but I started to remove all the vehicles and stuff like that. So I say I'm asking like maybe 20 to 30 days to do a complete cleanup.
Okay, all right. Mr. Sweeney, any concerns, life safety concerns?
Life safety issues.
Okay, excellent. All right, sir. I'm going to give you 45 days to get that complete, okay?
All right, sir.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I rule in case CE 21005518 that based on the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances as listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the action taken by the violator and the violator's history, I grant 45 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $200 per day be assessed. Thanks, sir. Have a great weekend. Stay in touch with the officer.
We have one more case.
The other properties.
Okay, item 28, case number CE 21005558, Leroy A. Gale, Brenda J. Gale, and we have service. And sir, if you would just please state your name and address for the record, since you've already taken the oath.
Leroy A. Gale, 4818 Smith Road.
Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Dennis Sweeney, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. Again, we received the same complaint on this property located at 4818 Smith Rawls Road. Property is zoned AS1. Property is occupied and the property is not in foreclosure. We received a complaint on 4/26/21. I made a site visit on that same date and observed the accumulations throughout the front yard of this property. And spoke with Mr. Gale again on the situation and advised of the conditions and of the complaint that we received.
Okay. Mr. Gale, anything you want to add, or did you cover it in your first one?
Yeah, like I say, I've been, I try to comply, I'm not trying to go against the law or nothing like that. So I'm working with Mr. Sweeney as much as I can. So like I say, I'll, have everything ready between clean up and everything.
Okay.
Have another inspection.
Okay, great. Well, I'll give you the same 45 days for that. And we'll
All right.
Well, thank you for taking care of it.
All right, sir.
Appreciate it. I rule in case CE 21005558 that based on the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County codes and ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the action taken by the violator, and the violator's history, I grant 45 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by the date, a fine of $200 per day be assessed.
Next case is on page 15, item 29, case number CE 21005644, Mark T. Rourke. We have service and someone is present. Sir, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
State your name and address for the record.
Mark Roark, 3617 or 3713 Cornet Pit Road.
Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes.
Thank you.
Dennis Sweeney, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. The property in question is at 3617 Cornet Pit Road. Property is zoned AS1. Property is not in foreclosure. We received a complaint on April 27th, 2021. I made a site visit at this location on that same date. Upon my site visit, I observed accumulations. In this photo, there's an arrow that points to a commercial trailer that's behind a privacy fence that is considered open storage by county codes and ordinances. And we I observed overgrowth throughout this parcel. I've spoke with Mr. Rourke about these conditions the day of my inspection, and unfortunately, on this particular parcel, he's failed to get everything complied.
Okay, sir, what would you like to add?
I'm working on it.
Okay, that's a good sign.
Yes, sir.
So you understand the items that are outstanding?
Yes.
Okay, and how much time do you think you need, sir, to get that complete?
Probably another 30 days to get the overgrowth and all that out of there. I'm working on that every day with my bobcat. But, you know.
I understand. Well, we're starting to get to a little bit of the rainy weather, so I'm going to do 45 days. Okay?
All right.
That'll be great.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you working on it, and stay in touch with Officer Sweeney.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I rule in case CE 21005644 that based on the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County codes or ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the action taken by the violator and the violator's history, I grant 45 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $150 per day be assessed.
Page 16, item 31, case number CE 21004751. Lionel Ibarra and Maria D. Ibarra. We have service and someone is present. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Lionel Ibarra, 3206 Nelson Avenue, Dover, Florida, 33527.
Ma'am?
My name is Maria Ibarra.
Come to the
microphone, please.
My name is Maria Ibarra, and address is 3206 Nelson Avenue, Dover, Florida, 33527.
Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Officer Bowling, good morning.
Hello. Donald K. Bowling, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This case began on, the address is 3206 Nelson Avenue. The case began on 4/8/2021. Its last visit was on 4/20/2022 when these photographs were taken. It is zone RSC 6. The violations cited and documented by the photographs are accumulations in inoperable vehicles.
Okay, folks, what would you like to add?
No, he's right. Yeah, we did the part we did last year, more of the other vehicles. Yeah, so that part we didn't know about that. All right.
All right. And then the accumulations, you're clear on which ones need to be removed?
Yes.
Okay. How much time do you think you need to get that complete?
About 30 days.
30 days is fantastic.
Right.
Absolutely. So in 30 days, you'll have all those things wrapped up. Just stay in touch with Officer Bowling. As you go through the process, he'll come back out and inspect it for you, and you'll be okay.
But he said about the vehicles too?
30 business days.
Yep. The vehicles need to be tagged.
The one right now in the picture.
I missed the. That's okay. Let's bring it back up just so you're clear.
Okay.
Which vehicles?
That one.
The fuzzy one?
Yeah.
That's a license plate. Looked like it was expired in 2007. And there was another tag on the left side. I think it said expired in 2006.
Oh, okay.
So you have to get a current tag.
And this tag expired in 2021. So all the vehicles
Yeah,
need to
I
have
want to make sure about those vehicles.
current tags so that they're legal on the street.
Okay.
Yep.
That's all around.
That too.
Yep. And that one as
that
well.
one too. I appreciate it.
3 days?
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you coming down.
All right.
Thank you.
very much.
A ruling case CE 21004751. The basis of the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the action taken by the violator and the violator's history, I grant 30 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $150 per day be assessed.
Page 17, item 33, case number CE 21005597, Juan Garcia. We have service and someone is present. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name and address for the record.
I am Ernesto Garcia. I live on 14602 Downing Street, Dover, Florida, 33527.
And your relationship here?
Brother, I'm translating for him.
Okay, sir, your name?
Juan Garcia.
Dirección?
It's 14602 Downing Street and Dover.
Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes.
Thank you.
Donald K. Bowling, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement, 14602 Downing Street, zoned RSC4. This case started on 4/26/2021. The last visit was on 4/21/2022. The remaining violations are fences, inoperable vehicles, outside open storage, commercial vehicles, and recreational utility vehicles exceeding the allowable number.
Wow, that's quite a slideshow, gentlemen. What would you like to tell me?
We've been working on it. There was more. We removed a couple of vehicles. We're just working on it. We need more days. With work. We just haven't had the time. This coming month, we're gonna take a couple weeks off so we can get all that cleared and fixed.
Oh, so you're taking time off to dedicate just to this month? Okay. Okay, this case has been going on for 12 months.
Yeah,
So-
I know.
Okay.
Whenever we received this letter, we were just waiting for today so we can,
But you're clear on the violations and you're gonna get them
Yes.
complied and, okay,
we just need, time
okay.
and we'll take it.
Okay, well, since you're taking some time off this month, I'll give you 45 days to get that complete.
All right.
Okay?
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you coming down. I rule in case CE 21005597, the basis of the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County codes and ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of violation, the action taken by the violator and the violator's history, I grant 45 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $275 per day be assessed.
Next case is on page 18, item 34, case number CE 20001744, Med Central Corporation. This is a contest of the noncompliance. Do you have that summary?
I do, thank you.
And we have people that are here virtually?
Yes.
Okay. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, ma'am.
Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Denzi Rivas. My address is 7108 Causeway Boulevard, 33619.
And what is your relationship to this case?
I'm the owner.
Thank you. And Mr. Weiner, please state your name and address, please.
Rory Weiner. Put that on mute. Counsel for Dr. Rivas. 635 West Lumsden Boulevard, Brandon 33511.
Okay, give me one moment to review this contest before we get started.
Just mute it now.
Do you recognize that photo as the property? Mr. Rivas, do you recognize that photo as the property? Does he not hear me?
Mr. Rivas, can you hear us? Mr. Rivas, can you hear us? Mr. Rory, can you hear us?
Yes, I think it's cut out for a little while. I'm not sure if anybody said anything.
Mr. Rivas, do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Code Officer Sadler, please.
Good morning. Code Enforcement Officer Leon Sadler with Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. Property in question is located at 7108 Causeway Boulevard, Tampa, Florida. And it is owned by Med Central Corporation. Property is not in foreclosure. This property was first inspected on February 5th, 2020, and it was cited for site development review plan required. As you know, the case was presented before the board earlier this year and was found in violation for this ordinance, and currently it's in fine run status. As of my last inspection on May 9th, the violation was in compliance.
As of 5/9/22.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right, doctor or counselor, who would like to?
Yes, it is in compliance. Dr. Rivas had put it in compliance in the middle of March. He was not aware to call and have it re-inspected, but it has been in compliance. He has done what's necessary for there to be no use for the issues of the site development.
Okay, Dr. Rivas.
Yes, we have been in compliance since the time of the last hearing, and as my attorney said, everything's in compliance now. The back is not being used for any parking. There's a fence that do not allow nobody to drive to the back of the property as requested. Thank you.
Okay. But testimony both from staff and from the owner is that the property was in violation, was rechecked on February 25th, and at that time, it was not in compliance.
As well as March 10th.
As well as March 10th, okay? So. All right, gentlemen, well, I'm at this point, all I could rule on, I can't rehear the case, all I could rule on is the contest, and all the documentation I have and testimony from staff is that at the time that it was checked, it was not in compliance. So I'm going to not deny the contest. And then you can go through the process with the county in regards to the fines for any type of adjustment or something like that. But at this time, I'm going to deny the contest. Okay? Any questions?
I just want to clarify what is being denied.
You submitted a contest in regards to the property being in compliance. So
yes, and the testimony was that it was put into compliance after the March 10th visit, but my client didn't know to call to have them come back out, which is very common in these cases. Citizens, they just don't call, and the fines continue to run until an officer comes out and does a reinspection.
I totally understand your position. The contest that I'm ruling on is whether or not at the time it was reviewed, it was in compliance or not. It was reviewed, it wasn't in compliance. Now you can go to the county as part of the adjustment process and talk to them. You're in compliance now, so there isn't any additional fines running. So you can go and have a discussion in regards to what happened between March and May the 9th.
Okay, so you're not making any findings as to facts in March?
That is correct.
Okay.
I'm just denying the contest based on the violation itself.
Okay.
For clarification, Mr. Pisano, can they go through the process and review with you in regards to adjustments between March and May in their fines?
I mean, the testimony was clear. We went out, it was, the board ordered a certain amount of time period to come into compliance. We did a follow-up inspection. It was not in compliance. I believe even in the letter of noncompliance, there's a statement that when it's in compliance, you need to contact code enforcement for a reinspection, which they failed to do.
Okay.
And then when we were finally contacted, went out and did the inspection on May 9th, and then it was found to be in compliance.
Okay. All right. So, gentlemen, my denial of the contest remains intact. So that's the extent of this case. Thank you for coming out and talking to us virtually about it. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a great weekend.
Okay, we're going back to page 1, item 2, case number CE 200-17400, Joseph A. Cross and Patricia Famusi. This is a continuance from a previous hearing. Do you have that right up?
What number are we on?
Item number 2 on page 1.
Yes, and I do have the continuance right up. Thank
And
you.
we have Ms. Patricia on the line. Can I please see her? Patricia,
Yes, ma'am.
I need to be able to see you. Do you have your camera on?
There we go.
There you go. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Patricia Palmucci Cross, 726 Westbrook Avenue, Brandon, Florida, 33511.
Okay. Just give us a moment. Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Sorry, I had a senior moment.
No problem.
Donald K. Bowling, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This case is 726 Westbrook Avenue. It's zoned RSC 6. It was started on 11/23/2020. The last visit was 4/27/2022. It is, I already said it was zoned. It has been posted. The only violations remaining is accumulations. Inoperable vehicles have been complied.
Okay, ma'am, what would you like to add?
All of these accumulations that you currently see have been taken care of. I can actually walk out front right now with my phone and show you if you like. The only thing left out there is some outside toys that my grandkids play with and their bicycles. Everything else has since been removed and cleaned up.
Okay, terrific. That's the kind of news I like to hear.
I do appreciate you guys working with me. I have some debilitating
Feeling
issues.
better?
Can you still hear me?
I can. Are you feeling better?
Oh, yes, I am. But I've got some physical issues that prevent me from doing a lot outside. And my son recently started doing some clean outs and decided to use my front yard as his drop off. So that has all been taken care of. And I, do not plan on any of these occurring again.
Kids.
No, he's driving me crazy.
Well, I'll add that to my prayer list, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So it's all in compliance is what you're telling me. So Officer Bowling can come out and take a look and we'll be good.
Yes, sir. And if there's
Fantastic.
anything else that needs to be done, please let me know and I'll make sure that it's taken care of right away.
No problem. Just stay in touch with Officer Bowling, okay?
Okay. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Thank you. I rule in case CE 200174000, the base of the instrument, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the action taken by the violator and the violator's history, I grant 10 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $150 per day be assessed.
Page 6, item 12, case number CE 210-10598, David W. Matheson Jr. We have service and someone is present. Sir, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
David W. Matheson Jr., 16944 Crawley Road, Odessa, Florida, 33556.
Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good morning, officer.
Good morning. Steve Favors, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement, property 8715 Brook Angela Drive, Odessa, Florida 33556, owned by David Madison, gentleman to my right. The property is not in foreclosure. The property was first inspected on August the 2nd, 2021, with the violations of an inoperable vehicle, electrical wiring, roof and or parts of, pool barrier, and pool sanitation. Upon my final inspection, which was conducted May the 9th, 2022, Monday, this violation of inoperable vehicle, electrical wiring, and roof and parts of still remain. I have been in contact with the owner.
And the pool barrier and pool sanitation have complied?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Mr. Matheson, what would you like to tell me?
I have a tenant there where the boat, which belongs to them, not me. And I do have the place up for sale and it probably going to be sold within the month. And the electrical and that boat are already been moved and repaired. The only thing I have not done anything with really is the roofing, which is over the porch.
Okay.
Which, will be done.
How much time do you think you need to take care of that?
I'm saying 60 days. That way it gives me time if they do buy that, it'll be all taken care of,
Any life safety issues with that portion of the roof?
Well,
Microphone.
I haven't been inside to know if it's leaking inside or anything, but just from the exterior, that's the only thing that I have, so.
Okay. Okay. All right, I'll do a two-part motion. I'll have him come out and check on the electrical wiring and any vehicles, and then I'll give you 60 days on the roofs
I do have a
to get
photo
that
here.
taken care
I
of. You
do.
have them on your phone?
Yes.
If they're on your phone, then I have to keep your phone when you show them to me. So I hope it's a good phone.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one.
Okay. All right. Well, then fine. Pass it on over.
I like
All right. All right. No problem.
Thank you.
But he'll come out and then within 60 days, just stay in touch with the officer as you go through the process.
No
Okay.
problem, sir.
Awesome. Thank you for coming down. I
Thank you
appreciate
very
it.
much.
Absolutely. You too, sir. I rule in case CE 21010598. The based on the answer presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances as listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the action taken by the violator, and the violator's history, grant 7 days to come into compliance on items PM 12.5 inoperable vehicles and items R 11.5.5 electrical wiring. If compliance not achieved by that time, a fine of $200 per day be assessed. For items R 11.7.4 roofs and parts thereof, I grant 60 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved with that date, a fine of $200 per day be assessed.
That concludes everyone that's in the agenda, that's in the audience.
Seeing that no one is present in the audience for the remaining cases on the agenda, I will now review the case materials previously provided by county staff. And if I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances listed in staff's presentation, my ruling in each case will be based on the evidence presented, on the gravity of the violation, the actions taken by the violator, and the violator's history, in determining the amount of fine that will be assessed.
Page 3, item 6, case number CE 210100643. This case was pulled per staff. Page 4, item 7, case number CE 210-11397. This case was pulled per staff. Item 8, case CE 210-12187. This case complied on May 10th. Page 5, item 9, case number CE 210-13070. Rory Scott Klein. We have service and no one is present.
Good morning.
Morning, sir. Edward Stewart Spriggs, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement, here with case CE 2101-3070, 5827 Coventry Drive, Tampa, Florida, 33615. Owner Rory Scott Klein. This case came to myself as a routine operation early in the morning, whereas on the 10th of September of last year, I approached and I noticed that the truck in question, the commercial vehicle, was parked in front of the house of Mr. Scott's place. While doing the research on the history of the property, I noticed that he had just came off a code board compliance for that same vehicle, CE 21001194 for a commercial vehicle. He literally just came off that the month before. Yes. Since then, I've been there over 11 times, plus my supervisor's been there twice.
Did you say 11 times?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 11 times. My supervisor has been there twice as well. Mr. Scott is Mr. Klein is not a pillar of the community. I spoke with him many times. He is very cordial to me, but his neighbors, he's not. Meaning the fact that when he comes home late at night, the black truck with the commercial trailer parked behind it, he will park that in vacant. He will park that in properties, neighbors' properties where it's a vacant home. So much, in fact, that I had to cite the house because he left it there for 5 days, full of debris, tree debris. To go along with that, in previous cases, Mr. Klein had been involved with another case on, where am I? He had the other case over on Memorial, 9200 Memorial, from 2021, from May 2021, where that he had parked that commercial truck and trailer, a chipper, and used the church's parking lot as a parking lot and debris field where he dumped off tree debris. We had to go through the system with that church to get it removed because it was their property. They had since put up fences, put up signs, etc. There's 4 neighbors that are very concerned about this. They want obviously something done. The work that he does on the vehicle, he's constantly working on the vehicle. It's constantly parked there. He cleans up the mess, but he still has sometimes oil debris, leakage and stuff like that. It does not meet the standard for a spill, but he cleans it up. When you drive down that road, you can smell the diesel. It's a, he's not nice to his neighbors. That's about all I have, sir. Something I failed to say in the beginning, he is definitely a repeat violator for this. Carmen, if we go to the last picture clearly shows his truck and trailer that I've taken this morning. His intent was to be here today, as he told me last week when I spoke with him. However, this morning, you see the time was 6:28 when I took that picture. He was wandering the neighborhood in his pajamas, and he said no. So,
Sonny, do we know what the fine was for the repeat?
For his previous case?
What the fine was for the repeat violation?
I do not have it on top of my head, sir, but I have the old case number.
The CE 2001-1194.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. She's looking it up.
Thank you. I believe it was $500 a day.
It was $400, but they comply prior to the fines commencing.
Oh, okay. I rule in case CE 21013070. The basic evidence presented, I find the property is again in violation of Hillsborough County Code and ordinances listed in staff's presentation and of the previous order dated 7/19/2021. This constitutes a repeat violation as defined in Florida statutes. Further, I order the per occurrence fine of $1,500. That's previously ordered. Am I reading the right one? They're asking for per occurrence of $1,500 the day the violations were found to still exist and continue to accrue until compliance is achieved. $1,500. Additional violations would be $1,500 per as well per day.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
The community does. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Just want to clarify. So we're going to start the fine at $1,500 a day as of the date of the first inspection, that it was found to again be in violation. And then once it complies, $1,500 per occurrence for any future violations once compliance is achieved.
Correct. Additionally, a fine of $1,500 per day per occurrence be imposed for any repeat violations after compliance. Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Page 7, item 13, case number CE 210-12656. This case complied on May 10th. Page 8, item 15, case number CE 210-10191. Wait, start again. CE 210-10191. Patrick Pat Tan Trung and Ann Gwynn. We have service and no one is present.
Jose Reyes, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. I inspected the property at 7914 West Pocahontas Avenue on July 22nd, 2021, at which time the property was not in foreclosure. I cited the property for accumulations, overgrowth, backyard chickens, roofs and parts thereof. The roof and parts thereof was complied on 5/5/22. I made several site visits. I actually spoke one time to the owner who was outside. He said he would get this complied before the hearing, and he hasn't.
The communication overall has been
that one time he
just
happened to be
one.
home. Yeah.
9 months. Okay. That grant, 21 days to come to compliance. If compliance not achieved by that date, a fine of $300 per day be assessed.
Thank you.
Page 10, item 20, case number CE 21004790. This case complied on May 10th. Page 11, item 21, case number CE 21005631. Richard Thomas Thompson Sr. We have service and no one is present.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Officer Parker, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. Code Enforcement received an anonymous complaint on 4/27/21 at 3518 Yale Circle. The property was cited for accumulations, trash, junk, and debris in the front yard, inoperable vehicles, a white sedan missing a license plate on the driveway, and a commercial vehicle, a small school bus located in the backyard. I made contact with the occupants one time. They refused access to the backyard. On my last visit on May 5th of 2022, the property remained unchanged.
That grant 21 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $200 per day be assessed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 22, case number CE 21005976. This case was closed per staff. Page 13, item 26, case number CE 21005260. This case complied on May 12th. Page 15, item 30, case number CE 21004726. Lee E. Trujillo Jr. We have service and no one is present.
Good morning, Donald K. Balling, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This case, 117 Lady Guinevere, began on 4/8/2021. The last visit was on 4/20/22. It is zoned RSC 6. The violations found and photographed are accumulations and outside open storage.
Communication with the owner?
Sir?
Communication with the owner?
We have service. I don't believe I had any personal communication with the owner.
Okay. I grant 21 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $200 per day be assessed. Yes, ma'am.
Page 16, item 32, case number CE 21005366. This case is pulled for lack of service.
You got out, Mr. Bowling.
And that concludes our agenda.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, folks downtown virtually. I appreciate your time. This meeting is adjourned. Have a great weekend.